The hallway smelled of sweat, fear, and polished boots. 6 pairs of eyes locked on her, sharp with judgment, taunting in their unspoken questions. She stood alone, shoulders squared, heart racing, feeling every second stretch like an eternity. One wrong move, one flicker of doubt, and they would see weakness. They didn't know who she was yet, but they were about to learn the hard way. Before I tell you what happened next, tell me in the comments where you're re-watching from. I love knowing who is listening. She could hear the scrape of boots on the linoleum floor. The subtle shuffling that betrayed uncertainty disguised as bravado. The air felt thick, almost alive, pressing against her chest. Her mind raced back to the early mornings, the endless drills, the nights she'd spent chasing perfection while others slept. All of it led to this moment. Every breath she drew reminded her that she was exactly where she needed to be. The 6 recruits circled, closing in like wolves testing the scent of prey. Their voices started low, teasing. Think you can keep up? Yes, it's nothing. Bet she breaks first. Each word pricked at her nerves. But she let her face remain calm, her eyes steady. Inside, a storm of focus and adrenaline brewed. She thought of all the times she had been underestimated. The sneers, the doubts, the whispered women can't, that had followed her since day one. She had learned to carry those doubts like armor, not as chains. Every muscle in her body remembered the years of training, the endless repetitions, the fire of determination that refused to bend. They lunged forward, a coordinated push meant to intimidate, to test the limits. She moved before they fully realized, it fluid, precise, controlled. Her body shifted, blocking, redirecting, guiding each momentum to harmlessly dissipate against the walls. Every motion was calculated, every step measured, yet seemingly effortless. A brief pause fell. The room seemed to hold its breath. She could see the flicker of confusion in their eyes, the first cracks in their facade. They expected fear. What they got instead was skill, grace, power. One of them lunged recklessly. She sidestepped, grabbed his wrist, twisted, and guided him forward. The sound of bodies sliding, boots skidding, echoed off the walls. Another move too quickly she intercepted, leveraging his momentum, and he stumbled, a look of shock frozen on his face. Murmurs began to ripple through the hallway. She could feel the eyes of everyone in earshot, the silent judgment of the instructors watching from the edges, waiting. The tension thickened, electric, like the moment before a storm breaks. Dust motes danced in the shafts of sunlight cutting through the windows, settling in the stillness. Her hands trembled slightly, not from fear, but from the sheer intensity of the moment. A pause. 6 against 1. But the energy had shifted. The power dynamic had cracked. The recruit's bravado faltered, hesitation creeping in like a shadow. She felt it, and she smiled inwardly. They were about to learn what so many had underestimated for years. Then, she moved with the final, decisive precision that left no room for misinterpretation. In less than a minute, every one of the 6 recruits had been redirected, blocked, or gently incapacitated in a display of flawless technique and calm authority. No one was hurt, yet the room felt transformed. The whispers died, replaced by stunned silence. The hallway, once oppressive and hostile, now held only awe. One of the recruits, eyes wide, finally broke the quiet. "Wait." "Yes," she said, voice steady but soft, carrying the weight of truth. "I'm a Navy SEAL." The reaction was instantaneous. Shock, respect, disbelief, and emotional kaleidoscope. A small, almost imperceptible nod passed between the instructors, a silent acknowledgement of what had just unfolded. The recruits' faces flushed, not with anger, but with the dawning realization that they had underestimated someone because of appearances, not ability. She felt a rush of something she hadn't anticipated. Pride, yes, but also a quiet, humbling joy, not in defeating them, but in breaking through assumptions. In showing what dedication, courage, and relentless discipline could achieve. The tension ebbed. The hallway seemed lighter, almost warm, filled with the murmurs of reflection. They had learned a lesson that went beyond combat or technique. They had learned that strength comes in forms they might never have expected. She stepped back, shoulders relaxing, letting the silence speak for itself. A subtle smile tugged at her lips, more for the lesson imparted than for the victory. She had proven that fear and doubt can be dismantled without a single raised voice. That courage isn't loud, it's resolute. Because kindness doesn't vanish, it waits, and it finds its way back. The recruits would never forget this moment, nor would she. She moved on, carrying the quiet satisfaction of knowing she had not just defended herself, but reshaped the understanding of everyone around her. The same hallway that had felt like a gauntlet now seemed like a place of respect, earned and well-deserved. If you've ever faced doubt, ridicule, or underestimation, remember this: courage doesn't ask for permission, and strength doesn't need an audience. And just like her, you might find your own power in the most unexpected moments. If this story inspired you, share your thoughts in the comments and subscribe for more incredible real-life missions from Whispered Words. Every story here reminds us that extraordinary courage often comes quietly but leaves echoes that last forever.